Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, warshippers of all ages, welcome to the finals of the Verizon Warriors series between JEDI and IFHE. Here we are, spawning in green on the north side of North. JEDI fielding a Shokaku, a Vanguard? What? A Baltimore, double Cleveland, Akizuki, and our first Loyang of the day.
Yeah, very nice. And meanwhile, IFHE is bringing a Shokaku, a North Carolina, double Amalfi, a Chapayev, and double Kiev. So I'm excited to see the double Kiev again. And as you were noting earlier, the Bayard has been banned, so we will not see that during this best of 5 rotation. Cream Pie and Grim saying, well, fine, we'll replace one really annoying pushing flanking cruiser with another really annoying flanking cruiser.
Indeed. But I think we talked about it at the end of the last series. JEDI was absolutely watching and paying attention and was like, we think we don't want to deal with this, so let's just not. And here we are,
right.
starting off this best of 5 finals. We're going to bring you at least 3 games of action. Both teams here jockeying for early position. We're seeing IFHE kind of do very similar to what they did last game with the Kievs and the Chapayev running along the bottom end of C. The Amalfis, the North Carolina, and to some extent the Shokaku swinging over towards the 2-3 line, looking for things in that direction.
Now there's a slight change in how the Kievs are playing, however. If you look at it, Seal is staying close to 8-point Bucks Chapayev, so you can smoke him. But Narco Meta is going straight into C right now.
Yep.
Basically saying, you guys can't get here fast enough, so I'm just going to try it.
Yeah, they don't have to deal with the Latarib this game, so there's no reason for them not to dive this cap and at least try to pick it up early and force either the carrier to waste planes and time trying to come for the reset, or more likely just get it for free, which looks like what's going to happen.
Well, you saw the carrier go and drop on Grim to get the early reset. That's crucial in a competitive environment, especially clan battles. If you can get that early reset, you get that early tick of points over their tick of points for the free cap. What does that mean? Pressure is on your opponent.
Now, one thing I think that we're probably going to see a little bit of an adaptation from JEDI here as well in terms of how they play it is, one of the things that we've seen the IFHE carrier do consistently is he flexes his planes on both flanks, right? He's constantly, he's on one side or the other. He don't say never. You don't commonly see him over focus one side of the map or the other. And I think in order for JEDI to kind of to win this game, they're going to have to come at it with a similar approach, right? For example, right now you see him, we see the Aetius going in for a torpedo strike on the Kiev. Does get one in the bow. That's a big hit.
Yeah.
But as this expected Amalfi push up the 2-3 line develops, he's going to have to try and be over there, I would think.
Yeah. Narco forced to smoke up and try to run away. He's right in front of a Cleveland.
It's right in front of a Cleveland.
But
surely that's not going to work.
It doesn't feel like the Cleveland is radaring, so I have a feeling they might have radared earlier to see Narco in the C-cap. Oh yeah, I saw that.
It is possible. Cleveland definitely taking some torpedoes there as he moves up to a mildly protected position. I'm trying to think. I wonder if Sock's guns are looking this way because the Kiev's guns certainly are. He's got his hydro up, so Tarkin's going to dodge these torpedoes. As they push Rubber Band Man's Loyang onto sea, there comes the Chapayev radar.
Yep.
So he's going to take some more damage while he dives for cover here, while he gets spammed by the Chapayev and the Kiev. And the Shokaku AP bombs are coming back for Tarkin, but I suspect they will eventually also bring the rockets back for the Loyang, which is not exactly known for its anti-aircraft fire.
Right. Or the torpedoes. We've seen the torpedoes be used quite effectively, and I love this Narco just using his guns right now on Tarkin, just basically saying, yeah, I know you want to hunt me, but you're not going to get me.
Tarkin is being very aggressive. He's moving up to take over the Kiev smoke that is literally dissipating while he steps into it.
There's the radar.
It's dissipating just as soon as he moves in. There's the radar coming up. He probably might have had a good AP salvo on the Chapayev, and he does get a decent hit there, but he's going out. He's absolutely going to go out here. It's a 3-on-1.
AP coming back at him. That's it. Done.
Vanguard AP going down range on the Chapayev as well. Not much out of it, unfortunately. First blood going to IFHE.
It's a Vanguard, so
Yeah, are you Zath? Are you bad mouthing Vanguard, Zath?
I'm confused about about Vanguard. I'm not necessarily
okay.
bad
All
mouthing
right.
it, but
Okay. All right. So let me explain. Let me explain, since there seems to be
Please.
some confusion.
please.
Vanguard is not like most other British battleships. For example, you look at a
Mhm.
Monarch at tier 8. What do you see? A giant steaming pile of not very good ship, right? Monarch is not amazing. However,
Mm.
some of that is because of the way the fuse timers work on British armor-piercing shells. However,
Right.
Vanguard is very much related to Warspite and Hood in that her AP shells work the way you would want them to. Her AP is outstandingly good at slapping cruisers around the board. It is highly accurate at quite out to long range. She is a very, very good ship for kind of mid to long range pot shots. She is not a great pusher. She melts quickly under concentrated fire. But if you're not going to use her in that fashion, she's perfectly acceptable.
Fair enough. So you agree with the decision to take the Vanguard?
I'm not saying I agree with it. It depends on how you deploy the ship. So far, what they've done with the ship, it works.
Mm-hmm.
But she is
All right.
not a pushing battleship. That is not a ship. Like last game, you look at what they did with North Carolina. Mr. Sock driving, last game driving right up the 2-3 line or the 4 line or whatever through the gap in the islands. You could not do that with a Vanguard unless you were going to get, unless you were reliably not going to get shot at by people.
Right.
But as soon as 3 ships start shooting at a Vanguard, she's going to melt very quickly.
Well,
Now,
especially because she's surrounded with 32mm armor.
Indeed. He just took a really good shot at Grim. He's got a beautiful broadside. He doesn't get anything out of it, though. Grim turned and dodged out of most of that salvo as the Amalfi push over on the 2 line and the 4 line is definitely developing here.
Fair enough. We just watched the Chapayev take a torpedo up the butt.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for him. That was an airdropped torp, it looked like. Yeah, this Amalfi push here just isn't really assembling the way that I'm sure they were expecting
well,
it to.
it is now. D-Quags is forced broadside to the Amalfi. Here comes the AP.
Yeah, Grim. Down.
Grim goes out there. The Vanguard and the Shokaku tag team him. Both teams on a kill now.
Mm-hmm.
But all the distraction, as we've noted before, allows the Kiev, that's SEAL, to get back in and cap C. 8 minutes gone. Both teams on a kill. It says JEDI on a small lead here. Very small lead. 40 points and shrinking. Oh! They got the other Amalfi, Zath. They got the other Amalfi. Oh, that's huge.
That is huge. And I'm questioning the need to push so hard at A right here because even with what's going on at CCAP, it wasn't a catastrophic issue or anything like that. Like I felt like they had a pretty strong showing here, and they just kind of essentially threw away 2 ships. So
JEDI doing a really good job of bending at sea, but not completely breaking. They're holding this flank together. Their Furious Baltimore seems to be the latest focus target. As here comes a rocket strike.
Yep. But I mean, so what's IFHE gonna have to do? They're gonna have to find a way to either flex back to B or push through, right?
No, right now they don't have to do anything. They win in 4 minutes. They have a cap advantage.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So it's really the shoe is really on JEDI, the JEDI's foot to do something. And you see it developing on the 4 line. Look at Inflamed Akizuki.
And that's why I was talking about sending something back, because you know that something is going to be coming to be now that they've won that flank.
Yeah, I think they should rotate Seal back at a minimum. Let's see if they do.
Right.
He looks like he might be going that way.
Right.
Now,
I might even move the Chapayev there too, because that radar will be extremely helpful.
I kind of don't like this Vanguard push. I like what they're doing with the Yang in Baltimore. They're pulling them back. They know they've got to keep them on the board. That's points they can't afford to give up. But the Vanguard push could go south very quickly because there's 4 enemy ships over there that have the potential to shoot at Frosty Beverages.
Right.
At the moment, he can only see Sock in the smoke. It looks like Frosty's going to push down this gap on the 6 line. But Narcomoeba's Kiev is headed back that way. That could end badly for Frosty.
Yeah, that's actually a smart play by Narco, although we were just talking about Seal. I'd rather see Seal making this move. He's full health.
Frosty turning now, sensing the torps possibly. Inflames Akizuki about to step onto B, harassed by Pika's rocket planes over here. So now if you're
maneuvering.
Yeah, dodged them all, didn't he? Yeah, well done. Well done. But it does force him basically into a confrontation with the North Carolina that he may not want, but he doesn't matter. He's got it now.
That's right.
The best option he has is probably to get up there and try and just ram the North Carolina and take him off the board. He might, or if he could kill the Chapayev on the way, that would be even better.
Of course. Well, let's
North
see.
Carolina gets a good salvo win, but not catastrophic.
I believe Seal does not pen with this HE. There's only 130 millimeter. So we're going to look to see him change to AP as the Vanguard starts to give him more of a side. Chapayev has already luck chucked one rack of torps.
Frosty's looking for this shot on the Chapayev.
Oh yeah,
Buck's Buck's giving it to him. He doesn't need much to full pen. Here come the shells. This could be it. It's not enough. He has to overpen them. He's bringing the stern turrets around. They're going to lose Frosty. Can he get the guns off before he does? He cannot. Doesn't get the stern turrets off. And though they've picked up B and now have a cap lead, IFHE remains in the lead because they've caught up on ship kills.
Right. What a battle.
Indeed, without their battleship, Jedi a little on the back foot, trying to figure out how to cling through and stay on to win. They do win in 90 seconds, unless something else dies, which of course is what Pikachu is trying for here with this torpedo drop on Rubber Band's Lo Yang.
Right. Right, and look at Narco. Narco is getting ready to come around and try to pounce on this Lo Yang.
They know they can assassinate this Lo Yang given the opportunity.
But he stopped?
He's trying. I'm not sure.
He's sensing that maybe he's on Hydro.
Could be. Can they see Narco? They can. They know both Kievs are there.
Yeah, planes just dropped Narco torp bombers, so they know that they're there.
Yeah.
Baltimore's quite low. Look at Furia. 5,000.
Oh, they finally get the Baltimore, and just like that, IFHE's within seconds of a win. Jedi plays a brilliant game, but they need a kill to convert at this point. And I don't think they're going to get it. Unless it's from the Chapayev, maybe? They got 10 seconds to kill the Chapayev. It's not going to happen.
No.
It's not enough time.
It's going to be hard.
They'd have to already have the carrier planes on top of him for this to work. IFHE's going to hang on to win, Zath, but Jedi gave him a really, really good fight.
They absolutely did, and they also gave them a battleship. Like you were talking about earlier, when it's funny. It's like we had that conversation about the Vanguard, the strengths and weaknesses, and it's almost like they were listening because they're like, "Hold my beer," and then they just went for it.
Like I like playing my Vanguard, but as soon as the ship gets focused by 2 or 3 players, she just melts. It's just who she is. Okay, so the other thing is that I saw, I watched Frosty a few times taking good shots at people. He just never seemed to get quite the dispersion or the big hits that he's looking for, right? The 15-inch guns on the Vanguard, like I was talking about, have the better fuse timers on the British AP shells, so they perform better and more reliably than the shells off of the British the regular tech tree line. But they are still finicky because you're still only firing 8 guns and it's still a battleship. So
and you still need to find a way to do that pen.
Exactly right. Well, IFHE with the win. They're up 1-0 on Jedi. Game 2 on Warriors Path will be along shortly. Let's kick it back to the studio to Bogsy and Cal.
Let's do it.
All right, that was an incredible match. That Vanguard dodge. Oh my gosh, that was incredible. Well done I think it was Frosty Beverage who did that.
Back and forth this match went, like, repeatedly. It looked like each team had the game basically in the bag, and it literally came down to that clutch kill on the Baltimore at the very end there, despite a valiant effort by Frosty Beverage's Vanguard making an excellent highlight reel moment. With abusing the really good rudder shift of the Vanguard there to dodge those incoming torpedoes. Vanguard, a very interesting choice. It doesn't have big guns. It doesn't have great penetration, but it it was so mobile during that game. It was able to change direction. It was able to reposition itself very, very well. It was instrumental, I almost said incremental, in killing the first Amalfi that came up, going for the safe cap, blapped him, carrier, boom. I actually thought that IFHE had almost thrown it when both of their Amalfis pushed up, possibly when they didn't need to, and ended up being killed for it. But then, JEDI took a commanding lead of it, and then right at the very last moment, they were looking for that kill, and the Baltimore goes down, flips it in the nick of time.
Yeah, it was incredible. This whole series has been just a lot of uncertainty about what the outcome is going to be. These teams just they flop back and forth so quickly and so often that it's really hard to pick a winner early on. It feels like watching a volleyball match quite a bit. So, but I would say that Vanguard dodge was probably one of my favorite plays of the game so far. It's just been incredible. And we've talked about the Vanguard just a little bit. That's the British ship, and it does a great job. It's got the rudder speed, which I think helped to get through that torpedo field, and just fast. I think this is the shot here. But a huge shout out to both teams for competing, and obviously things been evolving throughout the day, and we still have 3 or 4 matches left to go in the day. But first, I want to have another video played. We've talked about this a little bit before. Verizon, together with I keep trying to speak, and the word is coming out incorrectly. Media Monks put together this amazing 5G museum of ship application that you can download on your phone right now. Let's take a look at that video, and then we'll come back and talk about the rest of the day.
This is really the future of museums.
Because of COVID, the yearly event of Fleet Week wasn't able to be experienced in the way it had been in the past, with thousands of people in attendance, all coming together to celebrate the glory of our naval successes. That's why we partnered with World of Warships. It's a game that is praised for its highly realistic simulations of warships and its historical accuracy. The Museum of Warships is an AR experience that allows you to fully explore some of the most iconic historical battleships in history, right there in front of you, wherever you are.
There are hotspots across each ship, calling out individual historical facts about the ship.
The ultra-low latency and high capacity of 5G ultra-wideband, which is available only in parts of select cities, have given us the abilities to create a truly unique and mind-blowing experience.
Basking Ridge facility has a unique 5G ultra-wideband indoor setup that allows for an ultra-wideband connection indoors.
However, this experience is really designed to be viewed and engaged with outdoors. What's really amazing about this project is being able to engage with these really meaningful pieces of history and show them to people who perhaps aren't aware or haven't seen that sort of history before up close. I think that's what's so magical about 5G and about the ability to bring these sort of museums into AR spaces.
Oh, sorry, I was playing with the app. It's a fun app. You guys should check it out. Make sure you guys check out that app. But huge congratulations to the folks at Media Monk, Verizon, for putting together such an amazing, fun tool. Just to see a giant battleship on my desk is always really cool. So, so Warrior's Path. What is the Warrior's Path for Jedis? Yeah, Bogsy, go ahead.
Yeah, well, so we've seen Warrior's Path a couple times already today. The main combat happens around the ACAP almost all the time, whereas you have that little island that's there in the center, which means a destroyer, if it's ballsy enough, can just dive right in there, and basically the only thing that can dislodge it are flanking ships or a carrier coming in either with dive bombs or rockets or torpedoes. The game then becomes, how do you protect that DD once it dives the cap? So that's where you start to see a lot of interesting dynamic action, sometimes smoke screens out on the one line with cruisers being smoked up by destroyers. You can get fast destroyers like the French destroyers. They'll go way out of the side, and they'll basically just start taking pot shots in. Lots of interesting action that'll happen around that island in the A cap. Whereas on the C and B caps, the safe caps, it's not unusual to see folks push around the islands up the 8 and 9 lines to try and force the enemy out of their own safe cap and then sneak in and take it. Very difficult when there's a carrier on the board, simply because the carriers can spot things from the sky like the Eye of Sauron. The CV's gaze pierces earth, shadow,
Wind and
rock,
fire,
and stone and flesh.
rock and stone, and rock and stone.
Stone and
Yes.
fire, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Anava Presta.
you if you're going to make that safe to safe push, you need the right ships. You need the ability to either disengage or smoke up or heal on your way up there. As there is no Bayard, I'm guessing we will not see IFHE make a DPM push up that side, but they may try something sneaky like the two Amalfis like we saw in the last game. I hope IFHE learned their lesson that nearly sunk their game, to use some Warships parlance, which was, hey, you've got 2 caps already, you do not need to push the 3rd with your Amalfis because they got wasted. So winning more does not usually result in winning, by the way. So we'll see. We'll see if they do anything different. Winning more. Yeah, it's like if you are winning and then you go, you know what's winning is great, but we could win more, and that's when you push your ships up further than they need to, and they get wrecked, and you end up not winning.
Yeah, it's that overconfidence that I think can really bite you back in the end there. So, I think I'm interested to see what's going to happen here, especially with that island at the A cap. But I am really interested to see if anybody's going to play in between B and C, and keep that kind of keep those islands kind of on their backside so they can protect one of their flanks. But again, we also have that kind of dead man zone between A and BC that's a risk to try and go and support those caps. So I'm trying not to read chat, but it's interesting. It's fun. So we're gonna be seeing IFHE and JEDI here again very, very shortly. So let's turn over to our amazing commentators. And again, huge shout out to Lord Zath and Sea Raptor for the time that they're spending casting these matches. They've done a great job. Bogsy, it's so fun to hang out with you today. Literally on my calendar, it didn't say Verizon Warrior Series. It said hang out with Bogsy.
Something that thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. But something else I wanted to point out, because you and I and Conway were discussing just how great the team in St. Petersburg, who is doing the instant replays, and they're doing some really interesting dynamic camera work. What a treat to have! We got to see that replay of the Vanguard dodging the torps. I think that increased the enjoyment for me.
Yeah, it was a great shot. So we're gonna go over and we're gonna check out what Sea Raptor and Lord Zath have going on here in Game 2 of the Verizon Warrior Series Finals. Take it away, Lord Zath and Sea Raptor.
There, that sounds like a technical problem.
Yep, I'm gonna listen in, and then we'll go from there. But you can hear me.
Why are you talk to St. Pete?
There we go. All right, we are set now, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try this again. Welcome to Game 2, as we see IFHE coming to this game with the Shokaku, North Carolina, double Amalfi, Chapayev, double Kiev. I feel like I've said that before. Oh yeah, I did.
All right, Jedi spawning from the south in red, bringing a Lexington, a bit of a carrier change for them, sticking with Frosty Beverages Vanguard, fronting things once again with Furious Baltimore and DQuags' Cleveland, moving Inflamed into the Charles Martel and Tarkin into the Atago, and Rubber Band staying in the Lo Yang.
Yep, Charles Martel already got whacked a little bit, but I like the idea of a Charles. It's somewhat similar to a Bayard in terms of its speed. It's got that spaced armor, and it does have main battery reload booster.
Indeed.
Well.
Both teams picking up their little off cap now. Everyone jockeying for position over here at A. Tarkin's Atago going wide as Rubber Band's Lo Yang kind of working up here, looking like he might dive the cap. We'll see. The Baltimore probably a little farther astern of him than he could wish. Frosty Beverages Vanguard also on this flank. From the north, the Kievs doing their little smoke Chapayev trick.
Yep.
So we'll see if that plays out for them. Narco much closer in this time. Last time we played Warriors Path in the semifinals, he kind of made a mistake over here on the 2 line, getting off very early. He's much closer into the cap now.
Yeah, well, and he's also much more protected by backing into that position right there. He didn't use his smoke on the Chapayev and get stuck out as well. So he's got the smoke available, and he also has the W key available. So much safer there. But look at Sealed 9. Sealed 9 is almost making the exact same turn that Narco made in that game you're referencing.
He is, but this time he's got help because there is a ship on the inner track. That's Narco himself. And then someone farther out. The Lo Yang going to have to hit the brakes here. Going to go ahead and smoke to dodge some of these torpedoes as he continues to push up for the A-cap. There's the radar. The Yang's going to have really good position. He's actually, it feels like a little bit of a wasted radar from the Chapayev because he's not going to, Narco's going to have no shots and Seal's going to have no shots. In fact, no one's going to have shots except the carrier who's going to bring in the torpedoes and narrowly miss. Narrowly miss.
Wow, but if he goes any farther.
Brilliantly done. No, the islands will catch all of those. He's fine. Jedi making a hard play here for the early A-cap. Looks like they're going to bag it, and then it's a question of whether or not they can hold it.
That's right.
Now, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure Lo Yang at this point has his Hydro up and available, which basically means this cap is a no-fun zone for the green team. So while that's going on, take a look at over on East. We've got the Cleveland Charles Martel fixing to make a push against 2 kiting away Amalfis.
Yeah, it feels like maybe it's a little, maybe they're just swinging out here fishing. It feels like it might be a little too early for this. I think some of what we're seeing here is a bit of an acknowledgement of what we've seen IFHE do on this map in previous games, right? Where they've aggressively, like 2 games we have cast, either on different days of the tournament, we've watched IFHE aggressively push down the 8 line with the carrier in close support and make this work. And I think what they're trying to do is perhaps kind of just get over here in advance and deny that kind of potential.
Which is interesting. That there's a bit of a risk when you do that play, when you position where they are on the 9 line, because they get out of the ability to come back into the middle. If IFHE were to do some sort of major play down the middle, they're unable to support for quite some time. So that's going to leave them a little isolated for a bit.
Yeah, the Martel can push his, get somewhere quick button, but the Cleveland definitely cannot. And Cleveland not exactly known for her speed.
Right.
For the moment, the action remains at A as Frosty Beverages has soaked up about 30,000 damage worth of incoming fire.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't really gotten much out of his main battery in return. Mr. Sox, North Carolina, is still very healthy. The opposing Chapayev, that's Buck, still alive. So at the moment, it feels like he pushed up, took a bunch of damage, didn't really get much out of it.
Seal, but he's still alive, and that's, of course, important.
Furia turning out, caught here by Mr. Sox, North Carolina. Oh, he gets very lucky. He gets very, very lucky.
Yep. Speaking of luck, torpedoes on Rubber Band Man.
The Lo Yang took a torp. He took a Kiev torp in the cap.
Oh, Yep.
That's catastrophic. That's HP he won't get back. The plane's continuing to keep him lit. They can't afford to lose him.
Hydro works for so long, but after that, it's all over. You still got
fighters keeping him lit, down to 1,000, down to 160 HP. They're going to keep fishing for him. It's only a matter of time till they land a shell. They haven't hit him yet. He's still alive. As Tarkin's going into the cap, I think. Not sure.
He's
Not
shoot
sure
me
the
instead of
thought
my friend.
process here. I guess maybe shoot here. I don't know. They don't have any eyes on anybody on this flank but the Chapayev. They desperately need the Lexington spotting to get them something to shoot at. At the moment, they don't have it. They can see the North Carolina now, who's putting a salvo down on Tarkin's Atago as he runs out of the cap. But they really need to try to pick up one of the Kievs. Rubber Band Man cannot get spotted again for any reason. And the planes, they're going to hunt him. Yeah.
Smoking up for his teammate, so that's good. I'm surprised
Other than
that
Rubber Band, they're fairly healthy as a team.
I'm surprised that Tarkin didn't luck chuck Torse with his Atago as he was coming through A. I mean, you don't know where anybody is, but hey, you're probably not going to use them for the next couple minutes, so why not?
As they get reorganized at Azath, take a peek back on the other side of the map. Look at the 7 and the 10 line.
Yeah.
And look at what's happened to Creamy Pie. Creamy Pie is moving down the 10 line in smoke, but he's quite beat up. Looked like the Martel probably got some good AP salvos into him with the reload booster at some point. As the other Amalfi creeping through the islands, D-Quag's Cleveland kind of holding the pivot position in between both ships.
I like the positioning of the Cleveland. We often see radar cruisers sit right there so they can try to trap an opponent as they come down around that spot.
Indeed. What I'm wondering is if they know that Jared is there. I don't think that they do yet. He certainly isn't spotted at the moment. I think right now they're so focused on getting getting the kill on Creamy that they're not really thinking about where the other Amalfi might be.
Right. Or they're aware of it, but they just don't care right now because they want that kill. Which I don't blame them. This is a high-value target to get off. Frosty Beverage is...
Go ahead.
Getting hit again at A now. He's once again the farm target.
Indeed, as IFHE has pushed Seal into the cap, they do finally bag A. That'll allow them to start to close the gap. They trail by about 160 points here. 8.5 minutes gone. Creamy Pie continuing to get low, stay low. He's on 6,000 HP. While it feels almost like a waste, but there's a part of me that wonders if it's not worth a carrier strike to go finish him off. They know Jared Amalfi is there now. Oh, he gets a big hit on Inflames Martel.
Yeah, yep. And here comes the torpedo bombers as well to follow up on
Indeed.
that. With the other
Here comes more AP.
Yep.
That salvo not as impactful. Martel gonna have to do some fancy dancing. Gonna take at least one torpedo amidships. Trying to get his guns around, it looks like. As the Cleveland starts chewing up Jared. Yep, Inflamed getting his guns around now.
And here we go. We have the Jedi carry, the Lexington, bringing his bombers in to try to support his teammate as Pikachu's coming in with his bombers too. So, new air war developing.
Indeed, it feels like this might be a little too late. Big hits from the Amalfi SAP on D-Quags. This double Amalfi has just Jared's single position. Oh, they get the Kiev Zath.
I see that.
Over at A, that's a big play.
Baltimore Tago punch.
Indeed. Shokako AP bombs going out on Inflamed. Let's see if he can get him off the board.
They actually hit him.
He does.
There it is.
He does. He gets the Citadel. But on the other flank, Jedi is picking up the A cap once again on the strength of the kill against SEAL team.
Chapayev goes down though, 8-point buck.
Oh, they get
down
the
by the Atago.
Tarkin doing brilliant work with the Atago guns up here at close range in the cap.
Yeah, now take a look at Furia. 9k health, he's burning. And Baltimore does not have a heal.
He does not. He needs to get up here and grab some cover as best he can. He's popping his radar now. I think just for fishing. They don't know where the other Kiev is. They just know he's over. They're looking for him. As the Cleveland goes down, that's D-Quags way over here on the 9 line.
Which means, take a look, the Lexington is exposed to Amalfis. It's almost like a flashback.
He is. At the same time, he has the tools to do something about this, but he's going to have to get his rudder around and start moving. These Amalfis are going to start chewing him up. See, there's a good rocket strike on Jared. Took half of his HP away. He's coming back with the torps for the killing blow.
Pikachu about to discover the low yang there, forced to make smoke.
Yep. Jedi still has a cap lead. They are tied on ships. They got a 160-point lead. There's plenty of time on the clock. A couple of kills will absolutely seal this deal, but it's going to be up to Aetius, I think, because the two most likely kills are these two Amalfis on the 6 and the 9 line.
And we just watched that kill in the Cleveland. Looked like Cleveland took a torpedo. Not sure if it was a carrier torpedo or one of the Amalfi torpedoes. And then the follow-up salvo was an AP broadside into the Cleveland.
Here we go. Aish is coming back with the HE bombs. This is what's probably going to be able to finish off Jared. It's not going to happen in time unless they get some of these cross-board resets coming in, which don't work. Jared does pick up the C cap. Still, Jedi wins in 90 seconds. Up over 900 points now. This Amalfi kill would go a long way to would put them on a cusp of victory. Can they get it? They do.
Wow,
they
there
do.
It goes.
Aish's HE bombs puts his team within seconds of victory.
Yeah, but the Lo Yang is being hunted by the carrier now. AP bombers, not what's most efficient against a Lo Yang, but he's low on health.
He only needs an overpen to land, and he gets it. Wow, he gets it for the time extension.
Wow, we were just watching the Amalfi get bombed, so now we're gonna have to watch that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful shot. But once again, Jedi still in the pole position, under 90 seconds from a win. They're pulling back off the A cap, getting pushed by the North Carolina. They know they can't survive out there, but I don't think they're going to be able to get. Well, actually, Narco's going to be able to get onto the A cap in time, and when that happens, that's going to stop their points gains. That could be huge.
It absolutely can, because now you're not winning in 57 seconds. Now you're not.
No,
winning
you're
at
not.
all.
Now you're not winning at all. Yeah, they're going to stop their points games at about 965 or so. Right there, 963. So right now, we're 90 seconds now from an IFHE win because Jedi, despite their control of the map up to this point, no longer controls any of the caps. And if they lose the Vanguard Zap, this is going to go south in an extreme hurry because here comes the North Carolina salvo.
That's right. And
still doesn't get it.
Doesn't get it, but does some big damage.
Big torpedo salvo on Mr. Sock, but it feels like they're shooting at the wrong thing. 30 seconds now from an IFHE win.
Yeah. Look at
Aishis needs to go after the Amalfi. The Atago's trying to get onto the C cap, but even it won't be enough. It won't be enough, Zaf.
No, 20 seconds to go until loss or victory, depending on which team you're rooting for.
Goodness gracious. Well, this is coming literally down to the wire. Frosty's still alive on 2,000 HP. There he goes. That's the game.
Oh.
There it was.
Wow.
IFHE playing from behind most of the game, scrambles their way to a win. They finally pull it all together. What a game.
Yeah, that's so much carnage, I'll tell you. The camera crew was trying to bring all that action that we were missing, but while we were watching that action that we missed, we're missing more action because there's just so much going on.
Yeah. Yep. Yikes, Zath. Yikes. Well, they're down 2 games to zip after. I mean, Jedi played incredibly well that game, Zath. There's a part of me that kind of legit feels bad for them that they lost. And I think some of that, and we talked about the Vanguard, I'm going to pick on that a little bit. To me, Zath, that feels like so far it's been the wrong battleship choice.
For the way that they're using it, I agree with you. I think they'd be much better served with going with the Vladivostok or North Carolina or an Alabama than what they're doing here.
I love the idea of a Bama or a Vlad. Go ahead.
Key has been banned, so I mean, you can't take that. But you know, even a Magi is still a possibility. But but it doesn't have the staying power. So yeah, Vlad or North Carolina or Alabama, in my opinion.
Indeed. All right, well, let's throw it back to the studio. See what Boggsy and Cal have to say.
And we are back. What's with the look? Boggsy, what's up?
It's just so shocking.
I know. I expected Jedi to take that match, but they didn't. So congratulations to IFHE. Boggsy, help
it's
me
just so shocking he didn't go for the Amalfi at the end. He's a carrier. He can literally, he's got a Death Star laser. He can blap it, and he didn't go for the Amalfi. I'm so disappointed, especially because he's played so well throughout this series from what I saw. So he went for the North Carolina.
Sorry, no, the eyebrows are not next. Absolutely. No, they're the eyebrows are staying exactly where they are. So
Go figure, go home.
yeah, for sure. So great job. Congratulations to IFHE and JEDI for the awesome job that they're doing so far. Again, this is for charity. It's for fun. And so let's talk about Mara Draco. I will find you. Let's talk about the beard for a second, because obviously, so if you go back to the beginning of the stream, my beard was down to here. I don't know, down to my center of my chest. And the first time I shaved it was right after the first match. And I was waiting for people to notice. Nobody noticed it. Okay, it's fine. And I wore a black shirt intentionally for this. But the reason I did this is on June 17th, during our first Verizon Warrior Series training match, I said that if we hit 10K before the July 2nd stream, I would shave my beard. And I was like, these folks don't, I'm a displaced voice. Nobody knows who I am. What's going on? Who's this guy that's going to shave his beard? I grew that beard. I started growing that beard on August 14th of 2018. And so, or maybe 2019. So I grew that beard for almost 2 full years. So it was my wife has hated the beard for a very long time. My son loved the beard, but I have a newborn son coming in just a couple of weeks, and so I told my son that I would grow my beard out for in tune with his brother growing as well. So the beard will return. And are we going to see a return of JEDI in this next match? Or do you think JEDI's going to come back around?
I mean, this is the last JEDI game they get. So, yeah, it was so strange there, because I've noticed for many of our games we've been watching today, it seems like it's going back and forth and literally comes down to a kill at the end. And right then and there was an opportunity for, JEDI had controlled so much of the map. I want to give a special commendation to Rubber Band Man's Lo Yang play there early on when he took that island against a carrier, 2 DDs, and a Chapayev. He dodged all the torpedoes and just did super duper well of staying there and holding that cap and denying anybody the ability to push in and stop him. That put a lot of the points on the board for JEDI. That did last until the very end. And it literally got to the point where, again, 1 kill at the end, even with 0 caps left, would have secured the win for JEDI. But a mistake was made, I think, and the carrier went for a full health battleship instead of an Amalfi at 6,300. So just came down to a choice there at the end. Unfortunately, I think it was the wrong choice, but very well played by both teams. JEDI really, really looked strong there. So
absolutely, they did, and hopefully, JEDI it might not be the last match for JEDI. They could come back. I don't mean to be the outcast in this conversation about JEDI, but we'll see what happens. So I'm gonna change topics for a second. People are spamming eyebrow for charity. Spamming that hashtag isn't going to do any good, but we have potentially 2 games left, or 3. Are you going to shave yours? Oh, do it. Oh, there you go. So you know what? I have 0 care about my personal appearance when it comes to veterans and this. So if we are at $20,974.44 for Wounded Warrior Project. All of that money going to Wounded Warrior. If we hit $24,000, it's just a little bit, just $3,000.
not even 25.
What did I say?
24.
Okay, $25,000. $25,001. $25,001. If we get to $25,001, I will absolutely I will do it right here sitting at this desk. And then I will stream when my wife comes home and stream the divorce. But I'll do it for you. So $25,001. That's where we're at. So if we get there, then the eyebrows will go away and I will look really fun. So for now, let's talk about Northern Waters and what's going to happen with Northern Waters.
Well, so Northern Waters, we saw one match on this earlier in the day. Northern Waters frequently revolves around the contested cap, but the contested cap has a couple of interesting quirks to it. So obviously it has a couple of barrier islands that protect it from the rest of the map. That means, generally speaking, when you are attempting to contest it, you can somewhat be safe from cross-map fire unless you're facing potato quality from 07, in which case you are never safe. You could be in space and he could still get you. But at least in this format, oftentimes what people will do is they'll put a pair of cruisers on the off cap, on the C cap, or the B cap, depending. Sorry, that's not the off cap. It's the that is the off cap. Your safe cap, I should say, because it's the one that you get on your side. They'll basically take it and hold it, and they'll commit their resources to securing the contested cap A. The contested cap A has that little island you'll see just outside the cap circle at A45, I believe it is. It's the one line. I forget which way it goes. If you can take that island with a cruiser that has torpedoes, or a destroyer even that has torpedoes, you can hold that, you can pressure the cap and prevent anyone from taking it in most scenarios. The torpedoes, of course, allow you to prevent someone coming around the corner and shooting you in the butt. So I'm interested to see if we're probably going to get from IFHE another pair of Amalfis on the off cap, on the Amalf cap.
On the Amalf cap.
The Amalf cap, yeah. So far, they've done a pretty interesting job, both teams, of contesting the contested caps. I like that JEDI has brought a Low Yang, because the Low Yang has a very good smoke and a really, really long-range hydro. I think a 5.5 kilometer hydro. So at the A cap, it can nearly sit in the A cap and hydro the entire thing, almost the way that a Z52 or 46 would do it. So I'm interested to see if they try to make that strategy up against the now kind of ubiquitous Kiev smoking up a Chapiev strategy that IFHE's been employing.
Yeah, that is true. And what if we hit 30,000? People want you to shave your head.
My head?
Yeah.
No,
we're not going to ask Bogsy to do that.
This is the part where Mr. Conway's voice comes in onto the stream from the off. Actually, wait, Mr. Conway is actually still here. Wait a second.
Where's Mr. Conway?
I support this initiative, and Bogsy, I think, for the veterans.
For the veterans.
You should. That's all I have to say from the off.
Okay. Let me put it this way. If you guys can hit $30,000, I'm not going to bick it. I'm not going to take a straight razor to it, but I will shave it down to a quarter inch or whatever. But I have a very nice girlfriend, and I would like her to remain my very nice girlfriend. I can't stream the divorce if she refuses to marry me. Let me put it that way. So, but I would shave my head to a quarter inch or whatever the lowest setting on a buzzer is. And I'd even film the haircut if you guys wanted it. If you could hit $30,000 for the veterans.
For the veterans. So, speaking of the veterans, and somebody mentioned, and I'm assuming that they were joking, you just committed to that on stream, just so you know. That's all calls are recorded for quality and training purposes.
I'm gonna get in so much trouble.
That's fine. Let's talk about the donation levels for just a moment here. So we've passed 5,000, we've passed 10,000, we've passed 4,000. And all of those levels go to support veterans. And just $5,000 goes to support a veteran with Wounded Warrior Project to be successful in their civilian life, get back into the workforce, help them build their resume, find job placements, interview preparation, as well as networking, connecting with people. So the money that you're donating right now to shave Bogsy's head definitely goes to support really, really great opportunities for veterans who need it the most. We're going to go see Game 3. I'm hoping we see a Game 4, but IFHE and JEDI are going to bat it out Game 3. Turn it over to Lord Zath and Raptor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Game 3 of IFHE versus JEDI. This is do or die for the JEDI. If they lose this game, then the finals are over, and less opportunity for Calvo to shave his eyebrows and for Bogsy to shave his head. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see that happen, donate early and donate often, because we don't know how much longer we have. So let's talk about this game. JEDI coming with Lexington, Vanguard again.
I'm surprised.
Cleveland.
I'm surprised.
Very surprised. Edinburgh. And then Charles Martello, Le Terrible, and a Lo Yang. What's IFHE bringing?
Opposing them from the south spawn, wearing red, looking to execute Order 66, Zaf, is IFHE, fielding Shokaku, North Carolina, double Amalfi, Chapayev, double Kiev. I feel like we've sung this song before.
Yes.
I mean, if it's working, why change it, I guess?
That's absolutely true.
Now, I think we might see a bit of an early rumble at A. Pikachu's torpedo bombers now finding Tarkin's Tarib on the top end of the cap. Looks like he might. No, he is going to turn into the bombers. That's going to keep him out of the cap. But both Kievs down there, ready and waiting to come around the corner. Are they going to open fire? Seal's putting down smoke for Narco. Narco's opening fire for sure.
Very smart.
Seal guiding his teammate in with the smoke. Probably going to play out in front of the smoke to allow him to continue to spot.
Yep. I like this decision to send the carrier to the contest cap early. Look at the amount of force that's going to be.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
This is a very different play from what we saw them play earlier on this map.
Well, and I have a strong feeling that they're saying we want to win. We got to do something uncharacteristic, and this is what they're doing.
Seems like that's what they're doing. Furia, Rubber Band, the Cleveland, and Frosty all headed over to the B cap. It looks as if they're going to leave the Martel and will Tarkin's Tarib here basically to kind of just hold the line and keep the push from coming up too quickly up the 2-3 line over here at the A cap.
Yeah, but I don't like Tarkin's positioning right now. Look at him. He's nose into A again. He's swinging back around.
He's about to be broadside to a Chapayev and 2 Kievs. If he doesn't play this right, he might end up literally losing his ship in this exact play.
Yep, Narco smoking himself up, and his teammate.
The Chapayev can give them all the eyes they need right now. Tarkin at half HP and still falling.
There's
the radar.
There comes the radar.
Now all 3 of them can just RoboCop poor Tarkin.
I'm so glad I taught you that term.
It's a family-friendly term, Zach.
Yes. 8,000 HP, 7.5.
Here come the torpedo bombers.
I was just about
the
to say,
torpedo bombers are trying to get him to turn broadside again. It's gonna not work as well as they want. He's gonna slow down, let the torpedoes go by, then put the speed on and keep turning.
Yep, just like that, he disappeared. And now, of course, he'll be on again. Pikachu's going to dump those last torpedoes in.
Oh, no. They're going to get him. Zap, he's going out.
That's going to hurt. That hurt.
Lands them both.
Wow.
Just like that. All the hate and the Litarib cannot survive. IFHE up a ship. We're not even 4 minutes into this game. Now, let's have a check on the 7-8 line as this push is developing. Rubber Band has left smoke behind for the Edinburgh and the Cleveland. Look at the Vanguard's position, Zap. Frosty Beverage is in the middle of the board coming down the 6 line.
I'm very curious about this. It's like he's trying to catch whatever's coming out of A.
Yeah.
Now he's just going to get farmed.
I have many questions because IFHE has smartly rotated Mr. Sox North Carolina, kind of held him in the middle of the board. He's in a great position to check this Vanguard. I'm not sure what they're going to get out of Frosty.
Death. I just don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a decent shot at Creamy's Amalfi, but it doesn't seem like he's landing them.
Here comes the shot.
Oh, he landed that one.
Yeah.
Oh, he landed that one.
From downtown.
Indeed. Was that about an 18-kilometer shot or so? 16 and change. Not a bad one.
So Creamy Pie is forced to make Inky and try to get out of there a little bit. Force the pressure on Grim. Urban Man detected by planes now, stopping behind the island. Smart play.
They know he's up there. 5 minutes gone. We're out to over a 200-point lead for IFHE. They're up a kill, sitting on 2 caps, just ticking away.
I gotta tell you.
Go ahead.
These negotiations are brief.
Aggressive negotiations going poorly. Film at 11.
Yeah, pretty much.
I will say I'm a little surprised that they don't rotate one of Kiev's back, and it looks like maybe they're starting to do that with Seal. They've certainly got the speed to flex him over here. I'm not sure why you wouldn't take advantage of it, and it seems like they are doing that now.
Absolutely, especially since the Charles Martel has probably been spotted heading outside of A, so he's not
Mhm.
threatening A anymore. There's no need to keep anybody here.
Yep. Cleveland, that's Martin going to take a torp. Yep, he's not going to be able to slow down. He's going to take one torp on midships.
Yeah, radar won't help him there.
Will not. He's got his radar up, so they know the cap is clear, but he's literally staring at North Carolina in the face. The Amalfi's doing a brilliant job staying alive, staying in the game.
Wow, okay, that Adis' Lexington just literally dumped on Creamy Pie right there. It didn't kill him, but wow, as Jay Martin gets dunked on himself.
Yeah.
That was what, North Carolina salvo?
North Carolina, yeah, probably, because the North Carolina is
like
literally just staring him in the bow.
Yep.
Mr. Sock now turning. It looks like he's going to deal with he's turning. No, he's just turning to move to the middle of the board. He's still looking for a shot on Jay Martin. When his guns reload, he's going to have it. Should be any
Pikachu's
second now. Nope.
Pikachu
Too
got
late. Pikachu took care of it. They do pick up the C cap. Rubber Band Man is going to manage that.
Yeah, but they're down 2 ships now.
But Frosty getting just horrifically farmed out by the Chapayev and the Kievs now. Mr. Buck, Buck very low on 1,000 HP. I wonder if those were blind shots or something.
Well, we missed it here as well. Could have been a Vanguard shot or something.
I'm not sure. So far, he's still alive though.
Yeah, it looks like Beverage is looking to try to take him out right here.
No, Frosty's going out. He can't sit under the guns of an IFHE light cruiser very long, stationary like that. Nope.
Yeah, he tried to intensify the forward batteries, just wasn't enough.
Certainly was not. Creamy Pie all the way on the J line, running for his life, trying desperately not to be spotted. 7.5 minutes into this game, and it's all IFHE wall to wall here. They have almost a 500-point lead.
Yeah, this is. Not looking good.
They have 2 low ships, right? That's Buck and Creamy. Creamy is way on the J line. There's no way to spot him without sending the carrier down there after him. Now, when Buck's smoke expires, the Martel has the possibility of doing mean things to him and possibly backcapping A. So I won't write this whole game off yet, but man, it certainly does not look very good from the Jedi chair.
That's true. But if you look at the mini-map, you can see how, like you mentioned, everybody is being kind of cordoned off to the corner. So this could actually work out in their favor. As you mentioned, what needs to happen is Inflame needs to get into that cap, and he's already turning away again. And I think this is a mistake. I think it's a huge mistake. I think he would have been better off just saying, I'll take the torps, I got to get in this cap, and I got to stop the point game, because now he's allowing the Chapayev to react to his position, take his time, and Pikachu's just going to come back with another set of torps anyway. Here it comes.
Well, he's going to have one anyway, which isn't going to get him any good. So they are going to be able to pick up the A cap unless the planes come in for a reset, which is a possibility. But look at Narcos Kiev right through the middle of the board. He's going to go up here. He's going to try and cap B. When he comes around the corner, he's going to be literally staring a Lexington in the face with his torpedoes in the barrel.
That's great.
Yeah, Ace just took a bomb run on Creamy Pie to try to get that kill. Still haven't managed it. Trying now for some bomb hits on Grim. Should land a few. We'll see how RNG blesses him or not. Lands one.
Yeah, but he's flying through the Shokaku flak now just to make that drop. I think he's better suited looking for the other Amalfi. Narco not going in the cap. He knows where the Lexington is.
There we go. Yep, he's figured it out now. Inflamed in the cap with a Kiev in front of him as the Shokaku comes back with the torpedo planes.
Yep, and see, that's the problem with taking that duck away from the cap.
He's going to take at least one of those, but just the one.
Meanwhile, look at over at the Lexington. Lexington is about to get yeeted right now.
He is. We're about to see a carrier kill. When that happens, this game will be seconds from being over.
The ultimate disrespect right now.
I would do it.
As Narco says, well, hello.
The Kiev torpedoes the Inflamed. The other Kiev torpedoes the Lexington.
Wow, that's it. GG's.
The game is over. Just like that, IFHE closing things out in decisive fashion with a flawless victory. They absolutely executed Order 66 here on Northern Waters, Zaf.
Yeah, I think the Jedi are going to be exiled, and they're going to have to go back and train.
Yeah. Good. They are extinct, I'm afraid. Well, so the finals are over. The good news is that for Burn Pits 360, they win a whole big giant pile of donated money, which is going to be awesome for them. And JEDI, for their penalty of coming in second, they have a $16,000 donation going over to Warrior Freedom Service Dogs. It's going to be awesome. Let's go back to the studio. We'll pop over there and have a look at all the various money and where it's going. It's been a great day. We'll see you guys again in a minute.
Yeah, let's do it.
Wow. Dago, bye, JEDI. I'm waiting like 5 minutes for that. I was waiting hard for that one. So, a hell of a match. A great effort by both teams. Really well done by everybody. Congratulations to IFHE. Congratulations to JEDI. Congratulations to everybody who participated in today's event. I think we're kind of done with the matches, right? I don't think there's anything left to decide, other than whether or not I'm going to shave my eyebrows.
It's that was a quick ending to a fun day, but at the end of the day, we found out that there has never been a more wretched hive of scum and villainy than the team that is IFHE, because they decisively won that one, making it a 3-0 series. So congratulations to them, and well played to JEDI. Those first two matches were so close. We were just talking about how either one of those matches could have gone either way.
Yeah, it was hard to guess or even try and predict. So I'm not a gambling man, so I'm glad I didn't try. But at the end of the day, all of these teams win because the charities win. And let's talk about those charity organizations for just a minute here. We have, like C Raptor had said, our friends over at IFHE are going to be donating $30,000 to Burn Pits 360. And we'll talk about those charity organizations in just a moment. JEDI, their $16,000 prize pool will go to the Warrior Freedom Service Dogs. Flying Philosophers came out with the W and against Double the Fun, and they're walking away with $12,000 going to the Blue Star family. Double the Fun, Disabled American Veterans, $8,000 for them. And then $5,000 is going to go to the Pat Tillman Foundation, Guitars for Vets, USO, and the Gary Sinise Foundation. And all of the other charities that are part of this organization will receive part of this event will receive $2,000 in donations from Verizon. So $100,000 was just decided on how to be spent here today in front of you. And we couldn't be more thrilled to partner with Verizon, Wounded Warrior Project, and History Channel to put on this event for everybody. So thank you all so much for joining us. Huge congrats to IFHE and JEDI for just a great match at the end there. Do you have any final thoughts? Not final thoughts, because we have a lot more to go, but do you have any thoughts on how that match played out, Boggsy?
Oh yeah, it was very interesting to see that JEDI decided to, they decided that the Force can, have great effect on the weak-minded. Unfortunately, IFHE was not the weak-minded, as JEDI went for the safe-to-safe push strategy, going from their safe cap down towards the enemy safe cap, which they did actually take. The only trouble was that they essentially gave up the contested cap. I would have liked to maybe see them put the Lo Yang on the contested side rather than on the push side, as I think the smoke could have helped that Charles Martel trade a little bit better with the Kievs, and maybe kept IFHE out of that cap a little while longer, which actually could have made a big difference, as they did technically trade well for the for the times when they weren't being pummeled by 6 ships at once. They did make their trades well. The JEDI players are no slouches. I just think that maybe trading the 2 DDs out may have done them a little bit better work. But fantastic games from both teams. Great games to cast all day long. It was an absolute pleasure to be here and also to share the stage with C Raptor and Zath.
Oh well, it's C Raptor and Zath are just spectacular human beings all around. I think the casting that they do, Boggs, you did a great job casting yourself, so we throw you into the mix next time. So, but we're so honored that you guys have taken time out of your day to spend with us to raise money for charity. So let's bring back Lord Zath and C Raptor and talk to them about the show. I'm sorry. No, that's a joke. Just kidding. Spoiler alert. I'm being told 1 second. So what we'll do in the middle of this 1 second is we'll talk briefly about Burn Pit 360. So
Sure.
Bob, you want to tell us a little bit about Burn Pit 360?
Yeah, absolutely. So Burn Pits 360 offers an independent burn pit exposure registry, in which family members can record the names of warriors who served the nation, but unfortunately have passed away due to illnesses from toxic injury. They are entirely dedicated to improving post-deployment health outcomes for current and former military personnel. And you might ask yourself, what is a burn pit? If you were like me, I had no idea what a burn pit was until not too long ago. I actually found out and was really pretty shocked at what it actually entails. During the Operation Enduring Freedom and the Operation Iraqi Freedom, thank you, wars, so government contractors ended up burning up to 227 metric tons of hazardous waste at forward operating bases using jet fuel for combustion in large ground pits. So the items that were burned included batteries, medical waste, amputated body parts, plastics, ammunition, human waste, animal carcasses, rubber, chemicals, and more. Exposure to these toxins have caused a traumatic impact on the lives of our service members and their families. Some of the devastating health conditions suffered by veterans exposed include neurological disorders, pulmonary disease, rare forms of cancer, and many other unexplained symptoms. There have been thousands of deaths resulting from these invisible wounds of war. So Burn Pit 360 offers a registry where folks can make sure that they're not forgotten and that their exposure to burn pits is locked away in a specific place where it can be referenced.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not one of those things that you hear about very often with burn pits and what happens to all of the chemical waste. And so anybody out there who knows or has experienced this, reach out to Burn Pit 360. But they're going to be getting a donation from IFHE in the form of $30,000. So huge shout out, and I know that money will go a long way for them. So it's really awesome to see the work that's going to go into this. And then our friends with the JEDI are supporting the force sensitive dogs through our Warrior Freedom, or not our, but the Operation Freedom Dogs with the Warrior Freedom Service Dogs. I can talk today. And so we've all seen service dogs, and Warrior Freedom brings together dogs and service members to use them as therapy for PTSD and to really bring their life back together. They do a ton of work to help re-engage and reconnect service members with their family through the use of these dogs. Sometimes it's just good to have that companionship there, that that somebody's going to be there all the time. Dogs are humans' best friends, and we know that. And we see a lot of these dogs that come back from deployments who may come back without an owner, and Warrior Freedom also helps with that and reconnecting these animals. So huge shout out to these organizations, and massive respect for all of the service, the selfless service that they do. The other organizations that we have seen today in the charity organization or the charity drive is USO, Gary Sinise. There's Stack Up. We've talked about the VFW over the years. There's just all of these organizations that are out there. So if you didn't get an opportunity to play and you still want to make a difference, we are still taking the eyebrow donations for Wounded Warrior Project. You can click the link in chat. And up there's an indicator. I think we're at almost $22,000 for that. So if we hit 25, Boggsy will shave his eyebrows, and if we hit 30, I'll shave my head. Yeah, we're gonna go with. I'm trying. No?
Something like that.
I might have gotten that backwards. So, so thank you all so much for today. I don't think people are gonna buy that one. Are we ready for Lord Zath and Sea Raptor? All right, let's bring back on the casters with the masters. That doesn't work. The hosts with the most. Something.
Hi.
We're back. You guys did a great job. Thank you so much for what you've done. Let's get your take on the match, on these last 3 matches that we've seen.
Go ahead, Zath.
I think what we see here is Pikachu and his demonstration of unlimited power with those torpedo bombers throughout the entire last battle. As the Le Terrible comes in, and then later as the Charles Martel comes in, he just frying them. And I can't believe that they just sat there and they said, well, no crap, I'm detected, I got to turn away. That I think was really what pushed it. You see that the power projection of the carrier right there was pivotal to that last battle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I liked the concept of what they were attempting with the push, as Bogsy put it, from safe to safe, right? Down the, what would have been probably about the 6-7 line, a couple of cruisers, a destroyer, a battleship. The idea is sound, but I feel like with the ship lineup they had, that was not the right choice. We talked earlier in the match about the idea of Vladivostok or an Alabama. Either one of those would have been a much better choice for a hard push that way. The lack of smoke on the flank with the Martel, you had Tarkin's Tariq over there paired up with the Charles Martel. That allows them to get on that flank quickly. That's awesome. Unfortunately, then you don't really have much tools. You don't have a whole lot of staying power, right? You don't have any smoke. You don't have much vision control. You don't have radar. The Martel is a great cruiser, but if you're going to send her out by herself and say, slow these guys down and defend the cap, it feels like maybe you've chosen the wrong ship with the wrong tools. So I think the plan was sound. I think the ship choices that they probably could have plugged in to make that execute that strategy could have been chosen better, and that probably would have given them a bit of a leg up. The other thing, we have to give IFHE huge props. They had 2 ships on the board with 2,000 HP or less. That is, and a carrier in the game. That is not easy. That is not easy to do. So kudos to them for keeping those points on the board and not giving up those free kills.
Absolutely. I'm so surprised that we saw this Amalfi that was like, a sneeze and he's dead. You've got that Edinburgh that's right there, that could help seal the deal. And then he goes after the Amalfi that they know exists, but happens to be right next to the carrier. So, like, to me, that there's just a kind of going on. But I mean, of course, we're not the players. We're not in there. We're not hearing the calls. We're not understanding exactly what's going on in the heat of the moment. And that's something that we always have to remember. As spectators, we're looking at it from a top down. We see everything. We know everything, right?
They don't.
But they don't. And that's a big difference.
Very big difference.
Yeah, it's always interesting to say, hey, I would have done that differently, but it's hard to make that assessment when you're not actually in the moment and you're watching it from a different perspective, because you do know that, hey, there's a DD that's encroaching on your west flank or something, and you're going to do things differently when you don't necessarily know what's just around the river bend, to keep going with quotes today. Thank you guys so much. What was your favorite play of the day, Lord Zath?
Oh, it had to be that Kiev yeet on the Lexington. that was like just pure beauty right there. I mean, wow. I love it.
I think for me it would be that first the initial Bayard push we saw back in the semifinals, right? The double Bayard coming down, for lack of a better word, just assassinating those 2 Pyotr Bagratians. Absolutely a thing of beauty to watch that kind of team play and execute and well executed strategies in World of Warships. Loved it.
Absolutely. And what about you, Mr. Boggs?
Yeah, I absolutely loved seeing the early deployment of a Kiev to the outer flank, a Chapayev below the cap, and then the carrier taking out the Le Terrible on north. They knew he was there. They didn't panic. They made sure they had their angles. They made sure they had the carrier. They literally waited so that the carrier's fighters would trigger the other fighters so that the carrier could come in and strike. It was just gorgeous, and it was patience. And they managed to take out a full health Le Terrible, which is It takes some effort to do that. It was just
Not
really
easy.
well executed.
Terribly easy.
It's not easy.
Ha!
Puns are fun.
What about
Puns
you?
are-
What was your favorite moment of the day, Calvoth?
My favorite moment of the day is right now.
Was it when you realized you got to hang out with the three of us?
It was,
Aw.
it was when I realized that I had to clean out my sink.
This is not a problem I have ever had in my life.
2 years, my dude.
Yikes.
And Boggsy mentioned it earlier, as I will be doing this for a little while, is the Phantom.
Phantom beard.
The Phantom
Oh,
Beard
yeah.
syndrome. Oh,
Yep. Yep.
That's an interesting statement. I feel like
yeah.
a displaced Gandalf.
Mhm.
But no, honestly, it's hard for me to say this was my favorite moment of the day, because at the end of the day, my favorite moment is the fact that we get to help veterans. We get to do something that's near and dear to my heart, and we get to see these teams compete in a fun tournament with Verizon as an amazing partner with Wounded Warrior Project. So it's been an amazing time to see all of this come together, from the first iteration, the first even mention that we had back in May about this, to what is now the final. This is it. Once we go off the air, Verizon Warrior Series is done. We've given away a toaster. We've given away some really cool swag bags. We've given away some torpillos. We've given away a ton of stuff of in-game items for everybody who has come out to support such an amazing cause and support veterans around the country through different causes. And to me, that's my favorite part. And it sounds like a cheap answer, but it really is. To me, getting to hear was the best part, and being able to be a part of it and getting to hang out with you guys is close third.
Right.
I mean,
Jay,
a whole ton of people have contributed to this event to get to this point, right? You go back all the way to the training sessions and Ensconce and Sohn and everybody that contributed to the training sessions and the streaming and Sale. Like it's been a long road and a long evolution to get here. And it's been a huge team effort, both the WGNA team, the EU team, the RU team contributing, all the camera work we've had the couple of days of streaming. It's like a global event, really, even though it's really benefiting American veterans. We're getting people chipping in from literally all over the world, and which is awesome.
Yeah, 100%. And it's very rarely like this is what I would love to do every Sunday, is help veterans around the country. Because there's so much that they go through and they experience that is invisible, and it's those invisible wounds that really are the hardest to heal. And we've talked about the buddy check. We've talked about the pick up the phone and see how they're doing. It's not a joke. This isn't just some buzzword that I'm throwing out there. It's real. If you have somebody who served in the military in your family or your friends, pick up the phone, find out how they're doing, because you never know. People are there and they need your help, and you may be like, well, somebody else will do it. That's everybody else has that same mentality, is somebody else will do it. So don't fall prey to that. Pick up the phone, call somebody, hang out with us. We're here. Charity organizations like Wounded Warrior Project are here to help. So take advantage of their services. Be a part of it. If you're a veteran and you want to reach out, then absolutely reach out, get involved. There are a ton of ways to do so. I'm super honored to be able to sit here with Verizon, Wounded Warrior Project, and the four of you, and talk about this and watch these charity organizations benefit from people playing our video game.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And if I could piggyback on what you had to say there, Calvo,
of course.
Guys, if you know anybody who's a veteran, and they ever start opening up to you, listen. Stop what you're doing and listen. Last night, if I can tell a story real quick, I was talking with my dad, and telling him about the amazing day I had yesterday. And then we started talking about his experience in the military. He was drafted for Vietnam and served, but he was sent to North Korea as a radio operator, or not North Korea. I'm sorry, South Korea, to the DMZ. But he never talks about his experience. He never talked about anything that happened. He started talking last night, and about 10 minutes into it, I realized I need to go get a pen. I need to go get a piece of paper, and I need to start writing this down because he's getting old. He's going to forget these stories, and he's never told these stories before, and I don't know that he'll ever feel comfortable telling them again. And the stuff that I learned from him, it's stuff I wish I would have known 20 years ago. I mean, he's my dad, so you always love your dad, right? But like, I never understood what the military was for him or what it meant for him until that conversation last night. And I know there's so much more to learn by it too. So guys, if you've got family, if you've got friends, and they start talking about what they did, or don't judge, don't just listen. That's the best thing that you could do for any veteran out there. Just take your time and listen, and be there for them.
It's so true. And we had the rare opportunity to meet with Captain Bob Batterson last year, and he turned 100 years old this year, and the stories that he has to tell are invaluable. You can't put a price tag on those kinds of stories. And maybe talking to a veteran, maybe listening, you're going to hear something that you never thought you would hear, or something. Let's be frank, Boggsy, you hadn't heard really of what burn pits were until recently. And
Yeah.
I don't think most people know that is also a very dangerous part of deployments, is those burn pits that people are exposed to. But there's so much out there to learn, and we're super privileged to be able to help out in the way that we can. And I'd like to thank everybody out there who has donated to Wounded Warrior Project to support those wounded warriors. We talked a little bit earlier about what those charities, or what those contributions go to in supporting with veterans. And I'd like to pull up and talk just briefly on what we've been able to do with what Wounded Warrior Project will be able to do with the $20,000 that we've raised thus far. $15,000 could send a group of the most physically injured warriors to a multi-day adaptive sports clinic where they can unleash the highest potential by participating in modified Olympic or athletic opportunities designed for their individual abilities. And I want to point out something on this. When I got out of the military and I first moved to Houston, a friend of mine they were a double amputee, and he was like, "Hey man, I'm gonna on Saturday I'm gonna go play hockey." What? Okay. And I was taken aback because I had no idea how he was going to accomplish this. And he invited me out and introduced me to sled hockey. And it's a very competitive sport, and it is something that I had no idea about. Being in the military, you don't hear about these things, but you know that things happen to people, and there are organizations out there that do something like sled hockey, and I had no idea. So all of this money goes for a good cause to help people recover and get the help that they need. If we can hit that $22,000 mark, that'll provide one warrior with mental and physical evaluation by world-class experts at Wounded Warriors Warrior Care Network Center, and that'll take care of the medical expenses, including referral to specialists and continued help for their mental health treatment, all free of charge. And again, all of the services provided by Wounded Warrior Project are free of charge. So a huge shout out to them, and we're super honored to be able to work with them. They're great people. We've got to chat with Sergio and Sal, or Sergio and Sergio, or Sal and Sal. I don't remember which name I messed up, but I did mess their names up. So I think at this point we're kind of close to the end of our day. Mr. Conway, are you there in our ear? Is there anything left that we have for the day?
I am
gone through.
Good evening, chat. I wish I could join you right now, but I didn't prepare for all five of us to be on the screen at the same time. So I have no elegant way to be there, so I'll have to be a voice from the off until we say goodbye to C-Raptor and Zath. I'm sorry.
It's okay. So as we say goodbye for the day, C-Raptor, Lord Zath, final thoughts on the matches for the day.
Carnage.
We'll go in alphabetical order.
Oh, sorry.
Well, that would be you.
That would be me. So carnage, craziness, and strategy, and just watching all the games, how they all unfolded, some insane competition on all fronts, and I mean, it's a finals broadcast. I mean, you don't know what you're going to expect, but you can always expect to be entertained, and I think that we were all entertained. I would hope that everybody who's watching right now is entertained, and it's been fantastic. And Calvo, watching you progressively shave was awesome. Personally, my favorite look had to have been the dumb ball. That
Fu Manchu.
yeah.
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 Mhm.
That to me was the look. I hoped you would have kept it for a little bit longer, but he came back, and I'm like, does he still have it? And I'm like, oh. So
Hulk Hogan.
My son
Yeah.
said I looked like a sad Mario.
Probably the only comment I would have is, you guys at Wargaming, go back to your Verizon buddies. Let's do this again.
They're listening.
Let's do this again. I'm dead serious. Let's do this again. Right? Like, this has been a blast, and it's been a great community event. It's been a chance for us to come together as a community and help our veterans. And there's a lot of veterans that play warships. And let's just do it again sometime. I think that's what we should all be focused on. Let's do it again.
I think so too. And well, I agree, C Raptor. We should also be focused on making sure that these veterans know that we're here for them as well.
Yes.
And something else that I think is really super important to remember is that this was a charity event and it was a competition. And I know, teams won and teams lost, but at the end of the day, we hope everybody had fun. We hope that everybody enjoyed it. And obviously it's a good cause. We had 32 teams originally, 10 players on each team, 320 players. I can do math at real time. But out of those 320 people, 236 of them were veterans, military veterans. Wow. So we had a huge influx, and we partner with ID.me to verify your veteran status. So if you are a military veteran, sign up for ID.me. You get some free in-game goodies. For Verizon customers, there's also free goodies, or new customers, you can get $75 worth of in-game stuff, which include 4 months of premium time. So make sure you get signed up. And if you're a military or veteran, you and your family also get really the best rates on service through Verizon. So follow those links there in chat. There's a link that's being dropped in chat for a survey. We'd love to get your feedback on the survey. It is open to residents of the United States only, I believe. But make sure you guys give your feedback on that. I only have a couple other things to say, but I want to turn it over. I want to say goodbye. C Raptor and Lord Zath, thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
My pleasure. Thanks for inviting us.
Yeah, it's been a real honor.
Guests. And as we say goodbye to our folks there, we're gonna run our last video for the day, and then we'll come back to Boggs. And I think the displaced voice of Mr. Conway will join us for a few minutes, and we'll
Force Ghost of Conway.
Force Ghost of Conway. So, C Raptor, Lord Zath, you two are amazing, and I'm so honored to know you. Thank you for all the work you did today.
Take care, fellas.
Bye, guys.
Mental health is a primary focus of Wounded Warrior Project programming. The need is immense, especially with the almost 3 million folks that have deployed and are coming back, suffering from post-traumatic stress, anxiety, depression, etc.
It was a unique opportunity really to bring some of the top academic medical centers into a network of collaboration with the Wounded Warrior Project, and the results are off the chart. We take folks that are significantly injured when they show up on the first day, and we bring them to a place in life where they're highly functional.
They're able to now spend time with their families, go food shopping, for example, something that we really take for granted. But for someone who's suffering from PTSD, the fact that they can then go and do something as simple as go to the supermarket is really incredible.
We're able to compress a year of therapy into 2 weeks. And that's a year of individual therapy, a year of group therapy, with a lot of add-on wraparound care.
We have built this incredible network of professionals who are absolutely dedicated to our veterans, to destigmatizing issues related to trauma and mental health.
They figure out what pathway is best for you.
We've each taken a little bit different angle in how exactly we're doing the treatment. So with that, we're collecting a lot of information about how the veterans are doing in the program and what veterans may be responding better to one part of the program or another part of the program.
Very few people come home from the wars overseas unaffected, and Bill was doing a really good job of keeping it under wraps.
The Warrior Care Network program taught us to not avoid our issues that we live with. It was to face them head on, but not without the tools to face them head on.
Is around other veterans, so it brings back that sense of belonging. It was just so good for him, and he really did come back to life at that time period.
When we have warriors that are presenting with moderate to severe post-traumatic stress disorder, we're seeing impressive outcomes, getting them from the severe to the moderate level and moderate to minimal level post-intensive outpatient program.
Your veteran has to be in that place where they will embrace the help that's available to him, and that is exactly what Bill's done. And that's exactly why we're doing as well as we are today. And I'm optimistic for the future, absolutely optimistic.
We're back!
And we're back. We're back.
Ah!
Are we back? Is this thing on?
I'm still here. I've been here this entire time.
You have
True
been.
story.
You've been talking when I said that there's a voice in when I did this earlier, it was Mr. Conway. But it was singing random songs to us. So you should hear his rendition of Hey Diddle Diddle.
I see. So you saying you want me to show what the prizes the people won?
Let's see what people won.
With us on the
let's see
screen
what
at the same
charity
time.
what the charity organizations won. And while Mr. Conway gets that set up, I want to talk briefly about the awesome partnership we have with Verizon. And we've talked about you can get a bunch of free stuff in game for being an existing Verizon customer, or as a new customer, you can get the same good stuff. But Verizon does so many other things to support veterans, as we heard from Jason. Verizon does, obviously they're helping put on this Verizon Warrior Series event. Verizon also partners with Wounded Warrior Project to help with mental wellness, because that's a word, mental wellness, and they provide mental resources as well to help people through their Warrior Care Network. And they work with 4 different medical research centers around the country to provide various therapy. Another program that they work with is WWP Talk, which is a free support line for veterans, and they're connected to have judgment-free conversations. So there's a ton of resources that they provide. We're super happy to have Verizon, Wounded Warrior Project, midichlorians. Yes, the real Duckman also is an M word. So down there, thank you, Mr. Conway. We see the final Verizon Warrior Series final payouts for the final 8 teams. First there were 32, and then there were 8. So congratulations to everybody, Mr. Conway.
Yes,
putting everything together.
Thank you very much. Been good fun.
It's been fun. It's been a great day.
Can I just say that for me, as a casting experience, this has been weird because obviously I haven't been on camera most of the time, which is something I'm getting used to. But I'm all alone here, right? There's nobody else from Prague, right? We've got like commentary from Texas, from Texas, California,
St. Petersburg.
St. Petersburg for the gameplay, and then I don't know where C-Raptor and Zath live anymore.
I think C-Raptors was Texas. I think Zath is.
And then everything kind of converges here in Prague and gets sent back out to the world. So interesting setup, but it worked somehow. So
we had Jay Allen
very well
from he was in Serbia when we first talked to him. So that was amazing. He's such a cool guy.
He seems fun.
Absolutely, yeah.
I may have to go watch this movie.
Well, thank you, Conway, by the way, for taking all the pains to set all this up and to literally direct traffic all day, because the whole thing makes my head swim, and I was so glad that you you had your fingers on all the buttons and were able to fix things as things were going on. So thank you for that.
It's good fun, and of course it's not over. Right, next weekend I'm gonna be back here. Don't know why. I don't know why, but I'm gonna be back here.
Streams in
Fantastic.
succession?
Yes. No, we have next weekend. We have the European tournament, the Summit Clash happening. It's a 3v3 tournament at tiers 8, 9, and 10. So we still have registrations open. So if you want to play, and then you can come and get cast by us next weekend.
But then there's also the Succession later in the month, right?
Yes, there's also the Succession League, which is going to be on NA. In general, if somebody wants to, if you, right, would like to play, get into more competitive things, join the King of the Sea Discord server. It's where everything happens.
Perfect. Well, I think at this point we can say goodbye for the day. I don't need a green screen yellow. I have a really cool background with a bunch of books that I read. And so I like my background, my fake wallpaper. But anyways, thank you all so much, Bogsy. Oh God, now I forgot the name again. Ephraim's.
Iconic fleet of heroic Ephraim.
You'll notice that I just changed them to IFHE because first of all, it doesn't fit. Second of all, nobody can pronounce it, so I just decided, from now on, just IFHE.
I wonder
I just made life easier.
JEDI's an acronym too for, I don't know, maybe. But again, huge shout out to IFHE for taking home the grand prize. Well, taking home the grand prize of a $30,000 donation to Burn Pits 360. To JEDI for a $16,000 donation to Warrior Freedom Service Dogs, Flying Philosophers at $12,000 for Blue Star Family, $8,000 to Disabled American Veterans, $5,000 to the Pat Tillman Foundation, Guitars for Vets, USO, and the Gary Sinise Foundation. And there are other organizations that will be receiving a $2,000 donation, totaling $100,000. $100,000 of donations provided by Verizon. And we raised $21,110.44 to Wounded Warrior Project. Thank you all so much. We're actually going to hand it off to somebody you've never seen before.